What's up, everybody? AJ here, host of the Madden NFL 12 podcast. And this is an excerpt from this week's podcast, which you can download right now on iTunes. Be sure to subscribe, leave us a comment, and rate it for us. Enjoy. All right, so joining us now for a new little segment here in the Czar Report is Aaron Bolding, EA Sports blogger extraordinaire. Now, Aaron, tell us a little bit about what you're doing here, because we're going to debate some players with the Czar on the show. Tell us how this came around.
Okay, so what we're doing, and first of all, thanks for having me. What we're doing is, people may not realize, but, Donnie spends a lot of his time watching every play from every game every week, so he's a little busy. So one of the things we're doing is to sort of kick off the debate around player ratings and how they change every week. We're going to have a Madden ratings debate on the Madden NFL blog, and that's basically where I'm going to just start talking about what guys should move where and why, and then throughout the week, people make their cases on Facebook, on Twitter, on the forums. I chime in, tell people why they're wrong and why I'm right, and then we all come back here to finally settle it on occasions like this. So it's actually a way to keep the conversation going because, there's always hurt feelings and fans upset about what happened the previous week, and fans who are excited, so we want to stoke that conversation a little bit earlier.
And Aaron, you're a legit journalist. Tell us a little bit about your history, how you came to start writing for EA Sports.
I don't know about legit, but I've been around the fringes of EA
Celebrated
Sports and the community for years and years. I started with IGN, one of the founding editors there. Then I moved to ESPN. So I know a little bit about this collision of sports and video games. So I'm just happy to be have a chance to do this with you guys. It's been a long time coming, but I think now that we're here, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, Aaron. Let's without further ado, let's get to this first player. Let's bring it to Donnie. You have Tony Romo here. What's your problem with Tony?
Well, here's the thing. I like to activate Cowboy fans because that was a tough loss for them on Sunday. But really, ultimately, what I'm saying is we can't necessarily dock Tony Romo's ratings for the plays that were called. I mean, he executed the plays that were called. I mean, there could have been better execution, but for the most part, people were saying that in that game against the Patriots, the Cowboys were too conservative, and a lot of people are dumping on Tony Romo for that. And I'm saying that's really not his fault. I mean, we can't really dock what he did based on the plays that were called.
That's totally fair. And to give everybody the context, this week, Tony Romo gets no change. And it's funny, funny that you point out Romo as the first guy we talk about, too, because he's one of those guys that actually almost gets it from both sides, which almost tells me we're probably right where he needs to be when half of all the haters say, oh, my gosh, he's too good, 88 overall, that's way too high for a guy like Tony Romo. And then, obviously, Cowboy fans and some other guys that are fans of his will say, you know what, he's a great guy. He's a 300-yard passer. Out of his 5 games this season, he's got 4 300-yard games. But to his discredit, he's got 6 picks versus his 8 touchdowns. And I think that's part of the reason why he's not getting the boosts from week to week. He pretty much is locked in. He started Madden 12 at an 88, and he's still locked in at an 88. But here's the thing. An 88 is not bad. An 88, I think there's a lot of people in Miami and in Denver and in a lot of other cities in Seattle that would love for their quarterback to be rated 88 overall. And Romo's the type of guy, he's certainly right on the cusp of, he has another 300-yard game with 2 touchdowns, no picks, Cowboys win. He's going maybe to an 89. Maybe he does a little better. He does that 2 weeks in a row. He's going to hit 90. But he's definitely on that upper 80, low 90. That's where he fits in.
Yeah, he's meeting expectations, doing what he's supposed to do. Obviously Cowboy fans would like to see a few more wins come with that, but he's doing what's expected of him.
And it's part of his problem, and it's just sort of a perception issue, is that whenever the Cowboys do lose, it's almost always when is a cause of it. So he's kind of a quarterback. He's the furthest thing from a game manager in the NFL. I mean, he's a guy that wins games, but he's also a guy that kind of loses them, and I think that hurts his sort of perception in the overall land.
All right, the next guy you got here is Aldon Smith. Tell us what you think about him.
Well, anyone who watched that San Francisco-Detroit game saw, a great defensive battle. I think, San Francisco really made their mark. I mean, outside of the whole coaching spitball fight that we saw there. But San Francisco really made a strong statement with their defense in that game. And I think the entire linebacker core has really stepped up this season and become a lot better. That front seven is really nasty. They're making their secondary a lot better. And Aldon Smith, the rookie, he's really come on in the last few weeks. I mean, he's up to 5.5 sacks. And I can't help but go back to the draft when San Francisco picked Aldon Smith. Everyone expected them to take a quarterback. A lot of people were scratching their heads saying, who is this guy out of Missouri? And now you see that, like, he is a key component of that defense. And, they're going to start relying on him week in and week out. He got the safety against the Lions. I think that linebacker core, that front seven, is really going to, get stronger and stronger as the season goes on. But Alden Smith, I think that guy might be the truth. I mean, especially the way that they're using him.
So what are you looking to see from Alden? Like, what do you want to see his ratings increase to?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to, just say let's give him 5 points because he's, a future Hall of Famer or anything. But I think maybe give a boost to his acceleration, maybe boost his tackle, things that are important to a pass rushing linebacker like that. What that, projects out to in his overall rating, I'm not sure, but I definitely think he's shown some athletic skills as a young guy.
Yeah, the thing, and to be honest, his acceleration right now, I believe, is at like 97 or 96, which is just outstanding for an outside linebacker. So he's almost as good as it gets in terms of explosion and getting up to top speed. This week, Alden Smith is 81 overall. He goes up plus 2 points. He was a 79 last week. He started off Madden 12 at 76 overall. So he's gone up 5 points in the span of 6 regular season weeks. And a result of that, really, he started slow, didn't really even accumulate any stats or so in the first few weeks. Then the last 3 weeks, he's had 5.5 sacks, like you mentioned, Aaron. So he is someone that's well on our radar. I actually have him right on par now. We have Ryan Kerrigan, I think, rated us slightly better than Alden Smith, but Kerrigan's he's been very consistent from week to week. Von Miller, he's going to be right in their range here, I think, in the next few weeks. If he can keep up this consistent production, he's going to put Paris Harrelson out of a job too, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you're comparing the rookie pass run linebacker. You're comparing them to each other because I think that's the best way to look at it. I mean, out of that group, who's doing the best? I'll say Alden Smith right now. He's the standard for that group.
Yeah, and you're probably right. I mean, and you're talking, but I'm trying to kind of give the listeners an idea of like why he started off a little bit lower initially because he started slow, wasn't really producing as a first round pick like he should, top 10 pick, and of course there's probably reasons. But now we're trying to start to come around, give him his respect, and you're dead right. If he continues this level of production up, where he's getting a sack every other week, he's not going to keep this 2 sack per week level up. Yeah. But if he keeps this up, he's going to be probably surpassing Von Miller or Kerrigan or any of those guys.
That was just an excerpt from this week's Madden NFL 12 podcast. Be sure to subscribe and download the full version, which is totally free on iTunes.